And then we're going to go, let's see, we're going to go to Rob. No, it's Bob. I need my glasses. Bob in Pennsylvania. Hi, Bob. Are you there?
Hey, how you doing, Joe? Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you. I'm doing very well, thank you. How may I help you today?
My wife actually left home abruptly about 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
She said during that time she crossed the line with a male coworker.
Okay.
It turned physical. She was staying with him. But a week ago yesterday, she came back home, was very genuine, and said that if I would take her back, that she wanted to put everything behind her and try to work on us. She ended up moving home fully on Wednesday, and her mood was very stable. I saw genuine, what I felt was very genuine attempt. Wednesday went great, Thursday went great, Friday went fine. Saturday, I just noticed something a little off, but nonetheless, at some point in the morning, she told me that she misses what would be the other man, and that she thinks that she loves him, which we had a false start back in November. So when we talked a week ago, I told her that, if you're serious about it, if you're not 100% serious that you want to at least see where we can go, or if we have a chance to put this together, please do not move back. I wanted to get something, I guess, kind of worked out. But nonetheless, I listened when she told me, as much as it hurt to tell. And we talked some, and afterwards she said, I feel better that I was able to tell you that, to get it off my chest.
Good.
Saturday night kind of seemed back to, us cooperating, fine. And yesterday turned into an amazing day. And she actually yesterday, she is very introverted. So she's just, that's her type of personality. But she actually wanted to reconnect with my parents, who she was very close with. And I know it took a lot for her to do that.
That's big.
But I guess, as amazing as yesterday went, and I understand this is going to be a process, by no means, she's grieving and whatnot, but how do I keep moving forward, or knowing what she told me Saturday? Obviously now that's kind of in the back of my mind. Is it the last part of coming down off these chemicals, or is it in fact something I'm going to have to worry about, or do I change my focus, or I guess what?
Well, if I knew the answer to every question, I'd be a billionaire. You do understand that, right? So let me just,
certainly.
And I'm certainly not a billionaire, so that means I don't know the answer to every question. Everything I'm hearing here, Bob, I'm excited about. This is great. Understand that reconciliation is not like diving into the deep end of the pool. Reconciliation is like wading into the shallow end of the pool. And sometimes it's 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 1 to the side, 2 to that side, then another step forward again, because of the fact that you're having to reconnect, relearn each other. And the fact that she was emotionally connected to the guy, it's a good thing that she can tell you that. Because if she can't tell you that, in other words, she tells you that and you react badly. And when I say badly, I don't mean just the fact that you might get mad and yell at her or things like that. React badly can also be you just fall apart, you're sobbing, and she's thinking, well, I can't do that again. Either because your reaction to her was negative or because she feels like she affected you in too negative a way. But you handled it. Now, sure it hurts to hear that. Without a doubt it hurts to hear that. But you're creating a situation where she can be open and honest and transparent with you about anything. And it's absolutely normal that when a person's coming out of a relationship with another person, even if it was, tiny or huge, as long as there were emotions involved in it, there's some degree of a grief process, which means that I've made a decision as to what's right, that's what I'm going to do. But emotions don't work on logic. And emotions, like all of a sudden, this day, poop, it pops up. You, for example, have you ever had an experience where maybe you're sitting at a traffic light or something, remember something embarrassing you did in the 8th grade, and get red face all over again? It just happens to people, okay? And so understand that emotions can come from anywhere and do any kind of thing. Everything I hear here is positive. I am so excited for you. If you can continue to be this strong, if you continue to let her talk and you continue to listen, yeah, it's going to hurt, but that you're there and understanding and compassionate, it's going to magnify the attraction and attachment that she has to you. And this is going to go really well. Just don't panic if you have a bad day or a bad week. It's part of the process. Remember, shallow into the pool and you're moving around. You hope to get to the deep water, and I think you will. You hope to get to the deep water, but don't panic when it looks like they're backing up a little bit. You're already in the pool. That's the main thing. And you can get there. You can do this. You sound like a pretty intelligent guy to me, are you?
I try to be. I do try to do as much research. I mean, I've listened to all of your podcasts and read as much materials as I can, and
Good.
to try to be prepared for this. One other, I guess, on the same subject. Wednesday and Thursday, she was very, very, what do I want to say? Showed a lot of affection. We ended up having sex a few times those 2 days. It was like fireworks. It really was. And I've heard that on some of the, podcasts and whatnot.
Right.
But since then, I don't want to say that she's been withdrawn, but I mean, there's been kissing, there's been hugging, there's been stuff like that, but it just hasn't, I guess, returned back to that.
Yeah.
Am I best to let her lead in that area, or for this time, or?
If it were I would, Bob, because she's going through all these different emotions. Okay, one thing that intensifies passion is fear. And so, for example, if all of a sudden she gets afraid of losing you, like, oh my goodness, then actually she's going to get more passionate. Or if she gets afraid of anything, fear drives passion. But passion's also driven by many other things as well, like, wow, I'm finally back with you. You actually took me back. You're forgiving me. That also can magnify passion quite a bit. So rather than trying to analyze, why is she doing that? Why is she doing that? Just think to yourself, well, at least she's still affectionate. We're still hugging some. We're still kissing some. If it were I would let her lead on this. And if it comes down to the point, I don't think you're going to hit any sexual difficulties. I think that everything you're doing is working so well. But if you do hit sexual difficulties, call us back, because I've got some recommendations for that. But I really don't anticipate that's going to happen. I think, my friend, the things are going awfully well for you. There's probably, I don't know how many thousands of people listening to this right now who would trade places with you in a heartbeat.
I'm sure. And I've thought the same thing when I've read the same stories myself. So I'm very appreciative, and I appreciate all of you and your organization's work.
Well, thank you very much.
Definitely has been top notch.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, and hopefully to see you at the workshop.
Oh, I'd love to. Love to have you guys at the workshop.